let's come back to the question. And
Oh, back to the question, the future of work.
yeah, like how would you see that, the future of
How would
work?
I see that? I don't know. I've been talking with a few people recently regarding even just the future of working from home,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of confusion. I don't know if it's the exact same confusion out in Europe as there is here in North America, but like,
There is much
okay,
actually. A
maybe
lot.
you can answer like how important was the office lifestyle in Europe before the pandemic?
Well, different. Like every country is different. Like if you go to the Southern Europe, I guess that we will have like chill out, like a place which is like more chill out, I would say,
Okay.
than compared to UK. Maybe. Well, it also depends on the companies, of course. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it really depends on the places. But imagine like north of Europe having a mentality which is like closer to the US,
Okay.
but not really
Yes.
the one of the US, like closer,
Yeah.
not that much. And like southern being more chill, but still depends on what you're working on. Depends on your company,
Okay.
depends on your project, it depends on your people you're working with, on everything. Yeah.
Okay, that makes them a little bit more sense. That's a lot what like modern work culture is about. It's about I don't know if it's the exact same in Italy, but it's all about the communications, but not just like the direct communications where it's like I'm talking to you about something. It's the indirect
Yeah,
communications,
yeah, like 70%
right?
of the messages they are conveyed by indirect communication. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and the only 30% is the words that you speak out.
Exactly. Yeah. You can feed a lot into like a conversation based off of how you're like situated. Like if you're slouching, if you got your eyes kind of like looking up and away, if you're looking at your watch, if you're not wearing like a suit and tie, there's a lot that people give off in a lot of circumstances that um I don't know. It's not even like really taught anymore in schools. Well, it kind of is. If you dedicate yourself to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and they will teach you about indirect communication skills. But if you don't,
They will teach you, you're saying, but not in Italy.
oh, they won't teach you about indirect.
Well, as far as I remember, like nobody ever told me something about this in school.
Really?
Yeah, I actually had to buy myself books to learn that.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
for real. Like, when I was like 16, like 15, 16, it was
Yeah.
all about psychology to me. So I was buying
Okay.
all of those books like for body language and, like psychological stuff because
Okay.
it's not really taught at school. Like at least some direct communication is not taught.
It's okay. I still remember back in high school, I was taking an international business course, and this is one of like there's little moments that you just kind of like remember from your childhood or from your. They didn't dedicate whole lessons to that, but they did teach us, or they did kind of like start us down by thinking like you got to think of yourself as being a brand, and you have to work on it. It's not so much of what you do; it's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, and that's kind of to tie back to our whole like conversation about the future of work. That's where a lot of North American work is going, or the future of businesses and the future of like where they're sourcing say talent from. It's not so much like, okay, you have a master's degree or you have a PhD in that, good, great, why should we hire you? Like, sell us your brand, sell us yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like instead, how would you consider the future of work when it comes to machines, robots taking over our jobs? Like I want
Let's
to
see.
that direction. I want to know
Oh, okay,
about this.
let's get radical.
I have
Well,
my opinion. I have my opinion, but I really want to know yours. So
one example I always point to from just how fast robotics and some automation has taken over manufacturing is if you think about a toothbrush, right? Like think about every component that goes into a toothbrush, right? Like you have the plastic kind of handle to it, and then all the bristles that go into the top, right? Now, back in the day, that used to all be made by hand with like some tool assistance. Now, robots.
Mhm.
And think about just how big like toothbrushes are, and then you go out from there. You go toothbrushes, floss, maybe even handheld stuff, water bottles, computers, phones, a lot of handheld consumer products, even post-it notes. You know, what human touches a post-it notes in the manufacturing process now? It's been automated and it's been kind of changed over the years. So I always have like this is why I preferenced what I said. Like I appreciate automation, but also I see like the dangers of it going forward, because some areas, especially where I grew up, they were kind of hit hard when automation took over manufacturing.
I mean, my position is really sharp, actually.
Okay.
What I think is that I'm actually very, very optimistic about the future. So I
Okay.
think that in general, automation of works and jobs, that will bring us to the creation of many other jobs that now we don't even conceive the idea of them. Like you don't even
Yeah.
think about those jobs. You don't have them in mind. But like
Mhm.
the next, I would say up to 5, 10, and then like 20 years. But even like in 5 years, we will have many, many other jobs that we had no clue they could be created before. So many people are studying like literature, they're studying, like languages and everything. Wow,
Okay.
that's super interesting. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I like that. I actually wanted to study languages as well before,
Okay.
and I switched into business. But
Wait, let me guess. Is it because somebody told you that you can get more jobs at a business than you can with a language degree?
no, because I like that as well.
Oh.
Well, I actually like that. Yeah, I liked marketing. I'm that kind of
Oh, okay.
that, but yeah.
Okay. You didn't have that conversation with
No,
like a mentor in the
no, I
past.
mean, like I was not really going for languages. I was like, yeah, I might be doing that because I really like that. I want to study other languages and everything. But then I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go for it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, what happened is that I think that in the next future, which is going to be like up to 5 or 10 years, like maybe even less, um, all the people that study languages, of course, they will be needed, but like for more specific areas. Because like
Yeah.
right now they are building like neural brains, and in general, like the machine learning is going that far that it's so easy for them to learn a new language and to learn
Yeah.
from the mistakes that they have made in the past. So like every time that you type something on Google and then it turns out not to be the correct translation, then Google learns that that is not the correct translation, and you don't want that. I think in general that like many jobs will be lost in the future, and
Yes.
especially
Yes.
think about also like instant translation, like
Oh yeah.
we will most likely be having like an instant translator, maybe even in our brains, and this is going to be like maybe 15 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking about the future.
We're talking about the future here, folks, not
Then,
like 10 years.
how does it, how would you reinvent yourself? You have to reinvent yourself in the future. Like my work, I do something that is partially could be automated, but partially
Okay.
is very much creative. So I think
Wait, hold on a second. You've already identified areas that you could be automated away.
yeah.
You're like, nobody tell anybody.
I know that maybe yeah. It's something that actually comes normal to me, but yeah.
Okay.
So the most creative parts, they will be very hard to replace, at least in the near future, unless we have like the technological singularity going on. But yeah,
Okay.
it will take a while, I guess. But like
Maybe.
yeah, many years. But like for the most functional things that I do, like those are very repetitive and everything, they can be automated, and I can be like
Oh yeah.
not working on them anymore, and maybe I can switch myself, like I can switch into more interesting things. I could learn a new skill, like I could upgrade
Yeah.
my career. So I think that naturally, if like industries close down, then well, of course, there's a bad side because you're using your work, but at the same time, you
Yes.
could learn a new skill. You could like upgrade, basically.
Oh, but I don't know of anybody who's going to be like, oh no, I don't have to work anymore. Oh no. Oh, great. You know, that hard thing, that hard project, that hard process that I hated. I no longer have to do that anymore. Oh, I hate automation. Oh, I just bring me back that tedious assignment. Come on.
Yeah, that's
That
that's exactly the point.
was
But
sarcasm, by the way.
but like like people, yeah, nobody will be doing that. If
Yeah.
it's like cut repetitive work, then it's good. They can focus
I
on
think
things.
some of that is I don't know. There's some jobs out there that you can tell they're around because they help some people get experience. Like for instance, um, you can automate away certain restaurant and hospitality roles nowadays, but on the other hand, those roles are often employed by students,
Mm-hmm.
high school, university students, because they need to earn money, and it's hard to get a it's hard to say get an office job in school when you need to go to classes during the day. You want a job that you can go in the evening and it's paying you a good wage for like shorter hours as well. I'm not gonna go to an office and be like, okay, I'm gonna type my 9 to 5 and then I have to go write my thesis at night. No, you can't juggle that around. It's some areas they're beneficial, especially if you want to like start out. So I don't know. I guess because I have the privilege of being able to say that I had the opportunity to work in high school in order to earn experiences. Like my very first job was, I think I told you this, I was lugging soil and I was carrying bags of manure into the backs of people's trucks as they pulled up in front of like a garden center.
Yeah,
You know,
I remember.
it's a weird job. It's a weird experience to have, but like it teaches you dedication. It teaches you how to earn money. It teaches you time management.
True. That's true. Like
Teaches you
my
skills.
first job was being a cashier at the supermarket.
Oh,
And
okay.
if they automate that, then like that was my first experience with clients as well.
Yes, exactly. You don't get that anymore. People won't be able to practice. People won't be able to get experiences like that. Like I can only just imagine the struggle I'm gonna have to like teach my kids in 20, 30 years. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, just go on down to like the local supermarket. They're always hiring there. It's dad, they're all automated down there. Nobody works at a supermarket anymore. I'm like, oh God. Oh no. How do we teach skills? Like how do we teach that to young people then?
Well, yeah, that will be a topic to discuss, of course.
Well, it's funny because I'm just thinking about this now, and I've kind of had this thought before. Like, how it's a cliche where we think about our grandparents' generations as like not understanding modern technology that well because they were born like 100 years ago. But that's like with the technological growth between 100 years ago to today, and if technology is advancing faster and faster and faster, do you, I just had the thought of like, do you think that we're going to be as out of it as like our grandparents' generation in a shorter period of time than our grandparents were?
Well, I think in general that our lives are so different. Like they will
Mhm.
be different also in the future because they didn't have to go through all the things that we went through and we will go
Mhm.
through. But I think that the only way for us to compete in the market is really to learn what we are facing. So
Yes.
we actually don't learn if you, for example, like if you don't learn a new technology, you're most likely going to be left out. Like if you
Yeah.
a new innovation like the telephone comes out and then you don't want to take it out, you don't want to take it, you just don't want to hear anything about it, then you're going to be left out. And can we afford this, our generation? Can we really do that? I don't think so.
Mhm.
So right now, I wouldn't say that we're gonna end up as our grandparents, actually.
Okay.
And I mean, like, even think about our grandparents, like all of them have a telephone, most likely a smartphone with internet connection.
Well, depends.
Yeah, maybe it depends, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But like they still have a smartphone, or they have a telephone anyways.
Yeah.
So some kind of technology we will 100% get. Others maybe like we could like take it less, and but I don't think we can afford to be out of it. Yeah. So I'm looking forward for what the future is gonna bring. You know, I'm like super optimistic, very very optimistic.
You're very optimistic. I don't know. I feel optimistic too, but only because, it's healthier to live optimistically. Like, could you imagine being like an eternal pessimist? Everything's gonna get shit from here on out. You're never gonna be happy then.
I know many.
You know many.
Yeah, be optimistic, be on track with the life, and just keep upgrading yourself. And that's all for now. Thank you for listening, and bye.
Thank you. Bye.